There have been a lot of information that you see on the internet now with regards to this mission here that Japan actually put off here, and it's with regards to the JAXA slim landing on the lunar surface. And here are a couple of things that we're going to look at in this particular video. First is we're going to be looking at the mission, and next is going to look at the challenges that is surrounding this mission, and next is what are the things that they are monitoring in order for we to see what next steps are going to be taken for this mission to continue its current state. And so here are the things we're going to look at for the mission, which is first that on January 19 around 10:20 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the JAXA, which is the Japan's Aerospace Exploration Agency, in this case the smart lander for investigating moon, which is a slim, landed on the lunar surface. And this here was confirmed by the president of JAXA on the same day. Now, however, communication with Earth revealed a problem, and this here is a challenge that they are currently facing. One is that it was reported that the solar cells has not been generating electricity, and this led to statements that seems to be a minimum success, which is due to more data analysis that are coming out from this mission here. And then the follow-up point here is regards to how long the analysis is going to last in order for we to get this information, and this here is estimated to be in around a month to actually get the accurate location. And the last question here is that will the low power or low battery be enough for this communication to be fostered? Next is based on analysts with regards to the success. They state here that Japan achieved a soft moon landing, and this here is considered to be a success. And next point that was made is that the spacecraft is still able to send information, which means that it's functioning well. And final statement here is that Japan joins 4 other countries to land on the moon. Those countries include United States, Soviet Union, China, and India. Now, in terms of monitoring, there are a couple of things that they are monitoring so far, and some results that are called into question. And the first here is regards to the battery power, and this here will last, according to the analyst here, for several hours. And the question here is, why do we care about this battery life lasting for that much hours? The reason is because of the solar cells, which are on the slim, that haven't actually been producing power to the entire probe. So what they need to do or hope for is that the direction of the sun will later be in the solar cells' favor to power the slim. And so, looking at the conditions here, the condition that this particular probe is currently at is that as at January 19, the probe's battery depends on its 74% of full charge, which is coming on the landing, which is quite not enough. And next condition here to keep in mind is that there is a careful selection of data that must be processed and downloaded to manage the probe's limited power. And final condition they have to keep in mind is that NASA's LRO spacecraft passed over the landing site and photographed the slim. And this here is the result that is generated here. As you can see, the before and after, and you see a tiny little dot right over there. And this shows that yes, indeed, the slim landed on the moon's surface, and this image here was taken by this particular spacecraft on January 24th, 2024. Another thing to keep in mind is in terms of the location of this particular space here. And next here is the image here, which is showing that it is around 2,887 feet wide, which is around 880 meters, and the lunar north is pointing up. So Next here is another image by NASA here, and this here shows the rocket plume that is pretty much the surface brightness that is highlighted here, and this here is still at that same range, and the north of course of the lunar is pointing up. Now when we look at the pinpoints of the moon sniper, that is the official name for the spacecraft, it says here that according to this image that was released today, it says that it is located currently at the crater where the moon mantle, a deeper inner layer, is thought to be open on the surface. And this here shows that it is the first colored image that is officially published by JAXA, and it is currently showing an interesting look here, which is an inclined angle, which is due to one of the two engines that stopped at the final touchdown phase. So this here has led this particular group here to manage the conditions. Now in terms of managing the condition here, what they did was that the probe, which is in this case a lander, was shut off, which is around 3 hours after the landing. And this here, before it was shut off, there were a couple of things that had to be done, which are the following: the crest descent and the lunar surface technical and image data were downloaded before the switching off. And how is this accomplished here? So how this is accomplished is with these two instruments here. One is the hopper, which is at the left side, and on the right side is Solar Q. And so what happens is that this of course is an artwork of it, but what happens is that to get a picture to Earth, the Solar Q, which is the rolling object here, first had to transmit it to a second ejected roving robot, which in this case is a Lunar Exclusion Vehicle 1, or LEV1. This hopping robot has radio equipment that can contact mission control independently of the slim. And this here is according to all this incredible thing that we're seeing in terms of the beautiful interactions that's going on with this robotic system, which is really cool to see. But at the same time, this little glitch in the system that may undermine the success of this particular agency, is going to be interesting to see how, statistically speaking, the chances of actually you landing on the moon is actually awesome. Or what are the chances of landing on the moon? I mean, and this here is with a robot. And now thinking about back then when we actually sent people on the moon, it was pretty an incredible thing to actually pull off here. And according to this article here, it says that statistically it's proved very hard to put down softly on a lunar surface. Only about half of all attempts had succeeded. So that is pretty a cost thing to keep in mind here. So for a country to just invest their time and money into this stuff and hoping that there is a 50% chance of you getting this right is just really costly. And so let's know your thought about this particular information that we are getting on a daily basis in the comment section down below. By that way, we can talk to you soon. Stay smart as always and believe in yourself.